Well, we are joined by a couple of current superintendents in North Dakota, one former superintendent in the state of North Dakota, and the experiences that they've had with new facilities and new spaces at their present schools. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us here today. Jeff, we're going to start off with you at Kildare and just a summary recap of the experiences and what you went through with your building project.
Well, it has been a good experience. We currently have Icon working here for another renovation. We moved out of this school and moved up to the high school, obviously, and we're still using this facility as the elementary. And Icon's been fantastic to work with. It's been a great experience. And just going through the whole process, they've been very transparent and easy to work with. Very satisfied in regard to our high school. And I think if I could talk about one thing that is most observable when you walk into our school is that at lunchtime, you get away from the cafeteria tables and the old style, sit them down in the rows, and it's more like a food court in our school. It's very comfortable. Um, it's very welcoming. It's warm. The noise level has went down, and the behaviors have went down. Students have open conversations in the lunchroom, and it's a very welcoming feeling when you step into that room in our school. And I think that transcends through the entire school, that whole atmosphere, and just that one dynamic changing has had a tremendous impact on our school, just from walking through the door and observing that.
Travis, you were superintendent at Beulah, and did you see like improvements in teacher collaboration, student and staff morale as a result of the new environment?
Yeah, sure. So just to give a little background, we did a classroom addition and renovation of our entire high school, about 10 classrooms added on, and then we improved some of the spaces that we had existing that needed improved. As far as that's concerned, yeah, absolutely. I remember when we opened up the school for students, there were students that typically didn't come to school, maybe didn't come on time. And I remember a couple particular students that actually came early. And so I think in an instance, school, wasn't a welcoming environment for some of our kids in our older school. Uh, and when the new school came, we just saw kids just liven up. And I think that's important. I mean, I'm a mental health advocate, and I push mental health awareness a lot. And I think what we forget is, like, how we play music before a basketball game, and or we listen to the pep band before a basketball game, and it gets kids pumped up. Well, just like music, space has that same influence on our students. And so we saw definitely kids that didn't necessarily like school now liked school, and they came early. And our staff, obviously, they were in an environment before the referendum that wasn't necessarily conducive to teaching and learning. Temperature changes. They were wearing coats in the wintertime, and it was hot in the summertime, and so now they had a space that was temperate for their teaching, and it just created a whole sense of pride in our school community, where kids loved to come to school and teachers loved to come and teach, and so that was great to see.
How about feedback, Jeff, from the community, the students, staff in Kildare? What kind of feedback have you been getting from the new space?
When people walk into our gym, and I talked about the topography of our in the layout, and when we have visitors walk through those doors and they see the floor in our building, their body language says a lot. They're very impressed with how it looks. It's very impressive. We were able to come in under budget and make some enhancements in our gym, and it is impressive. And I really think that's what I see is just the communication, watching people, and they stand in those doors and they think, wow, this is amazing. And I'm very proud of the facility and of that gym, and it's really pretty amazing. And
How has the facility helped your district better attract and retain families and staff?
I like to say we're a school of choice. And what I mean by that is right now we have 49 districts or 49 students that open enroll to our district, as of yesterday. So, I mean, my principals, we get phone calls all the time. They work in Grand Forks, but they want that small Class B feel. And so they go out, they're shopping school districts. Hey, we're going to go to these 3 districts. Can we come in, give a tour of the building? We would have more students in our building. We don't have enough housing right now. And that's what we're running into here in Northwood. So we're constantly picking up families that work in Grand Forks. We're 35 miles west of Grand Forks, but they're still living, in between here and Grand Forks, either north, south, east, or west. But they still, we gain a lot of students because of our facilities. And to echo off of what Jeff said, you walk into our commons area, it's huge. And then we go into our gymnasium. And our gymnasium, when it was first designed in 06, 07 with Icon, we built that for about 1,250 students with the hope of someday hosting districts and regional tournaments, because Northwood couldn't do that before. And again, be careful what you wish for, because we now have it. We are hosting district tournaments. We had district girls basketball here this past year. We've hosted a regional volleyball tournament, and it's been really nice. So retaining families, retaining staff, it's been good. Usually, once we get staff members, they don't leave. It's just a nice, welcoming facility, and it's the hub of our small little town. Is the school.
Travis, what advice would you give a district that's maybe in the beginning stages or thinking about a new building and construction project?
Yeah, that's a loaded question, but I would say it's definitely a daunting task for school districts to undergo. It's probably necessary, obviously, if they're thinking about it, but it's definitely daunting, and it's going to be hard work, and it could be a headache from time to time for a district superintendent and school boards. And but at the end of the day, the reward far outweighs, any headache that might come from the whole entire process of doing it. And then I would just say, the more transparent you are with the community, the more human you are in front of your community. It's obviously a big ask for a community to invest in a school district with their tax dollars, and we know that tax dollars are obviously a hot topic. And so, at the very minimum, school districts need to get out in front of the community and be real and say, yeah, we understand this is a big ask, but these are our needs, and come with concrete data. And so there's no opinion, right? It's all data that shows that, hey, look, we need this facility, and in so many years, this is what it's going to look like if we don't do this. And so just getting out in front of the community, being transparent as possible, but also understanding that as a school district, as a school superintendent, as going through it, it's going to be a challenge. But at the end of the day, when you see kids in your school and happy to be in your school, and teachers that are happy to teach, and the community that just has so much pride in the final product, it's so worth it.
Final question for each one of you. We'll start with you, Jeff. If you had to describe the impact of your project in one sentence, what would it be?
The impact on our community is beyond transactional. It's transformational, and has had an impact on our community for generations.
Shane, how about you?
Yeah, tough question to describe in one, but it's given it some thought. But it's provided a space for not only current students, community members, staff members, but also for the future generations to come.
Travis?
Pride that has increased in the Beulah community since this project has completed is beyond measure in terms of the impact that it's had and will have in the future.
Well, gentlemen, it's been great talking to you here this morning. We appreciate you taking time out to talk about your projects and look forward to maybe seeing you in Valley City here down the road sometime. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sounds
Thank
good.
you.
Thank you.